Hello everyone, welcome back to the Decoded Philosophy channel. Here we explore what ancient philosophers understood about life better than we often do today, and how their wisdom still explains our modern struggles, mistakes, and ambitions. If you've ever wondered why smart people start making stupid decisions once they get power, this video is definitely for you. Imagine this. You're the smartest person in the room. Everyone listens, agrees, respects you. Time passes, and suddenly you start making worse choices. Your confidence grows, but your judgment weakens. Why does that happen? Why does more power often mean less wisdom? Today, we'll uncover how power twists intelligence, what Plato, Aristotle, and Seneca knew about it centuries ago, and why their lessons still matter today. So get ready, because the next 10 minutes might just change how you think about intelligence, authority, and yourself. We live in an age where intelligence is our greatest currency. We celebrate knowledge, innovation, and cleverness. We look up to people who seem to have all the answers: CEOs, scientists, politicians, influencers. But the more power they gain, the more often they seem to lose touch with reality. Why? Maybe it's not that power corrupts people, maybe it reveals who they truly are. You've probably seen it in your own life: a boss who becomes impossible to talk to after a promotion, a friend who changes once they start getting attention or influence. It's like power flips a switch in the brain, and suddenly self-awareness fades. Modern science backs this up. Studies show that power literally alters how the brain processes empathy and feedback. People in positions of authority are less likely to notice other people's emotions and less likely to adjust when they're wrong. But the ancients didn't need brain scans to figure this out. They lived it. They ruled, they taught kings, they watched empires rise and fall. And they realized something timeless. The smarter the person, the easier it is for power to turn their mind against them. Plato once said, "The people who desire power the least are the ones most fit to hold it." Why? Because power gives us the illusion of knowing everything. When everyone listens to you, you stop questioning yourself. And the moment you stop questioning, your intelligence stops growing. Plato saw this firsthand. He lived during the chaos of Athens' democracy and watched leaders rise and fall because of arrogance disguised as intellect. He wrote in the Republic that a true philosopher king should rule not because he wants power, but because he's wise enough to know how dangerous power is. But there's a twist. Once that philosopher actually takes the throne, he's in danger too. Because the moment a thinker becomes a ruler, he starts to believe his thoughts are law. And when that happens, reason quietly gives way to ego. Modern neuroscience proves Plato right. Research shows that when people gain authority, their brain activity in the empathy network decreases. They literally feel less connected to others. They stop seeking truth and start seeking confirmation. Plato warned that the mind under power becomes self-centered, not because it's evil, but because it stops getting challenged. So his challenge to us still stands today. Can we stay wise when everyone around us insists we're right? Aristotle, Plato's student, took that idea even further. He believed that all virtue lies in balance. The golden mean. Courage lies between cowardice and recklessness. Generosity lies between greed and wastefulness. And wisdom, it lies between arrogance and insecurity. For Aristotle, power without self-awareness is madness. He warned that pride, or hybris, is the most dangerous trait of all, because pride disguises itself as strength. It whispers, "You're right. You always were." And when intellect fuses with pride, something deadly happens. The mind stops listening. You've probably seen this pattern in leaders, in companies, even in relationships. At first, intelligence brings success. Then, that success feeds confidence. Confidence turns into pride, and pride blinds the mind to reality. Aristotle believed that the true mark of intelligence isn't being right, it's being open to being wrong. He would ask, can you listen to others even when you don't have to? Because the higher you climb, the fewer people will risk telling you the truth. That's how power corrupts intelligence. Not by making you stupid, but by removing the friction that keeps you smart. Now let's jump to Rome, to Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who served as an advisor to Emperor Nero. Seneca was brilliant, one of the sharpest minds of his age. But he saw something horrifying. The young, promising Nero, once full of curiosity and grace, slowly turned into a monster. Seneca wrote, "Power doesn't make us worse. It makes our flaws visible." Think about that. Power doesn't corrupt the soul. It exposes it. It's like fire. It doesn't change gold. It just burns away what's weak. If you have discipline, empathy, humility, power makes those stronger. But if you have vanity, greed, insecurity, power amplifies them until they consume you. Seneca learned this the hard way. As Nero's rule became bloodier, Seneca's influence faded. He realized that no amount of intellect could save a man who refuses to rule himself. So he wrote, "He who rules himself is greater than he who rules the world." That's the Stoic answer to corruption, mastery of the self, because you can't control power. You can only control how it changes you. So let's bring it back to us. What about you? Do you think it's possible to have power at work, online, in relationships, and still stay clear-minded and kind? Let's make this a conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think uses their power wisely? And who, in your opinion, has been blinded by it? Your insights might even inspire the next video. Power and intelligence are like fire and oil. Together they can create light or destruction. The ancients knew that wisdom isn't about how much you know or how clever you sound. It's about how you act when your words have weight. Every one of us holds some form of power. Over our choices, our emotions, our influence on others. So maybe the real challenge isn't gaining power, but keeping our minds honest once we have it. Let's end with Seneca's timeless words. Wisdom begins where pride ends. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy exploring how ancient philosophy helps us understand the modern world, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter and turn on notifications. We've got more ideas coming that will challenge the way you see intelligence, success, and yourself. See you next time. And remember, the greatest strength is staying rational when power tempts you to forget who you are.